The Azerbaijan GP of 2025 on the streets of Baku will be remembered as one of those weekends where the unpredictable nature of Formula One once again revealed both its ruthlessness and its beauty. The long straights, the narrow walls, the tricky braking zones, and the constantly shifting competitive order make Baku a place where chaos and brilliance often live side by side. Coming into this race, the championship battle was finely balanced. Oscar Piastri carried the momentum as the leader in the standings, while his McLaren teammate Lando Norris was searching for consistency after a string of results that had left him trailing in the points. Max Verstappen, though no longer the undisputed dominant force of recent years, was still close enough to be dangerous, and George Russell's resurgence in Mercedes, combined with the rise of young talents like Kimi Antonelli and Lawson, added more fuel to what was already a heated fight for supremacy. After a qualifying session that will be talked about for years, littered with red flags and constantly interrupted runs, it was Verstappen who once again proved his ability to deliver in difficult circumstances, snatching pole position for the sixth time this season. He did so by holding his nerve when others around him faltered, while Carlos Sainz, now driving for Williams, came agonizingly close to securing a surprise pole. Russell lined up behind them, with Antonelli, Lawson, and others all placed higher than expected after the mayhem. The mixed-up grid meant that the leading championship contenders, Norris and Piastri, were stranded back in 7th and 9th, adding yet another layer of intrigue to a circuit where anything can happen. When the lights went out on Sunday, the drama unfolded immediately. Verstappen, starting on the hard tire while Sainz was on the mediums, defended aggressively across the track to hold the lead. Behind them, Lawson and Antonelli slotted into position, maintaining composure in the opening corners. But for Oscar Piastri, everything went horribly wrong. From 9th on the grid, he jumped the start, then activated anti-stall as the car cut out, dropping him to the back before turn 1. The Australian, who had been leading the World Championship, then lost control at turn 5, slamming into the barriers and bringing out the safety car. Just like that, Piastri was out of the race, recording his first retirement of the season, and suddenly the title race had been thrown wide open. It was the kind of brutal moment that shows just how fine the margins in Formula One are. Piastri came into Baku with a 31-point cushion over Norris and a larger lead over Verstappen. But a single mistake at the start was punished with devastating consequences. It gave Norris a golden chance to capitalize, but the McLaren driver, starting 7th, immediately lost ground in the opening exchanges, dropping to 9th before he could even begin his recovery. At the restart, he struggled to make headway and even lost further ground to Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, while Hamilton and Leclerc themselves faced an uphill climb from further back after a disappointing Saturday. As the safety car peeled away, Verstappen once again demonstrated why he is considered one of the best at managing restarts. He immediately built a gap, controlling the pace of the race from the front. Behind him, Sainz tried to hang on, but was already beginning to fall away, while Russell and Antonelli found themselves locked in a delicate battle with Tsunoda and Lawson as the pack began to spread. Mercedes in particular faced an internal dilemma. Russell had been feeling unwell all weekend, but he was still pushing hard, while Antonelli showed remarkable maturity in his rookie season. Stuck behind his teammate in the early stages, Russell voiced his frustration, but Mercedes chose to manage the situation carefully, not wanting to risk an unnecessary clash between their drivers. Antonelli, though, could not quite find a way past Lawson in front, and it soon became clear that the Italian's inexperience in racecraft on street circuits was costing him precious time. The pit stop sequence eventually played a decisive role in this fight. Mercedes brought Antonelli in first, hoping to undercut Lawson, but Racing Bulls responded immediately. Lawson's crew executed a flawless stop, sending him back out just ahead of Antonelli. Even though Antonelli managed to pass him later on track, Lawson's ability to hang on and fight was impressive, and it set up one of the most intriguing battles of the afternoon. Further up the road, Sainz continued to impress in the Williams. Many had doubted whether his move to the Grove-based team would bring him opportunities for podiums in this era of McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari dominance. But in Baku, he proved that with the right circumstances, he could still deliver. Running comfortably in second early on, he pitted and rejoined with enough pace to hold off Antonelli's late charge. It was a landmark moment for Williams, securing their first podium in years. And for Sainz personally, it was a vindication of his decision to back the team's long-term project. George Russell, meanwhile, delivered a measured drive in difficult circumstances. Fighting off illness, he stayed calm under pressure and executed a near-perfect race, claiming second place behind Verstappen. His ability to keep the car in one piece and extract maximum points highlighted both his consistency and Mercedes' gradual return to competitiveness. Antonelli would ultimately finish fourth, narrowly missing his maiden podium. But his race was yet another sign that Mercedes have a future star on their hands. To run at that pace, in a car that is still not the absolute class of the field, speaks volumes about the young Italian's talent and his potential to shape the future of the sport. The midfield battles brought their own excitement. Liam Lawson's career-best finish in fifth marked a breakthrough moment for the Racing Bulls driver. For a team often living in the shadow of Red Bull, results like this are invaluable, not just for the points, but also for the morale and confidence they bring. Lawson was pushed hard all the way to the flag, but he never cracked under pressure, delivering mature defensive driving against Yuki Tsunoda and Lando Norris. For Tsunoda, finishing sixth was his best result yet for Red Bull's senior team, a sign that his promotion is beginning to pay off. He fought with the aggression he is known for, but combined it with composure, particularly in holding off Norris in the final laps. Norris himself ended the race seventh, the same position he started, and that in itself tells the story of his struggles in Baku. Despite having the car to perhaps challenge for a podium under normal circumstances, he failed to make significant progress in the race. Even when Piastri crashed out and the opportunity was handed to him, Norris could not take full advantage, only cutting his teammates' lead in the standings by 6 points instead of making the huge gain he might have hoped for. That inability to fully capitalize could prove costly in the championship fight later in the season. For Ferrari, it was another difficult day. Hamilton and Leclerc both found themselves battling in the lower points, with Hamilton eventually finishing 8th and Leclerc 9th. Their struggles highlighted once again the inconsistency of Ferrari's 2025 campaign, where flashes of pace in qualifying have too often been followed by lackluster race performances. Isaac Hadjar rounded out the top 10 for Racing Bulls, adding to what was a very encouraging weekend for the Fonza-based team, who show that they are capable of mixing it consistently in the midfield fight. Further down the order, Gabriel Bortolito continued to grow in confidence with Sauber, finishing just outside the points, but once again demonstrating that he belongs at this level. Ollie Behrman, Alex Albon, Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Nico Hülkenberg, Lance Stroll, and the two Alpines of Pierre Gasly and Franco Colapinto all completed the field, with penalties and scrappy battles defining their afternoons. Alonso in particular had a forgettable race, picking up a penalty for jumping the start and then apologizing to his team, a rare lapse in judgment for the veteran. Albon's collision with Colapinto mid-race earned him a 10-second penalty, dropping him out of points contention. And so, when the checkered flag finally fell after 51 laps, the order at the front was clear and unchallenged. Verstappen had led every single lap, winning by more than 14 seconds, never once looking under threat. Russell's second place was a testament to his grit, while Sainz's podium was both emotional and historic for Williams. Antonelli's fourth place hinted at what is to come for Mercedes. Lawson's fifth was his breakthrough, Tsunoda's sixth marked progress for Red Bull, and Norris' seventh was a mischance that may haunt him later. The championship picture now looks very different than it did before the race. Piastri's lead remains intact, but the margin has shrunk, and perhaps more importantly, the aura of invincibility around him has cracked. For the first time this season, he looked vulnerable, and rivals like Verstappen and Norris will sense that there is blood in the water. Verstappen in particular has reignited his campaign, with back-to-back wins and a performance in Baku that showed both speed and control. He is now closing in, reducing the gap to Piastri to 69 points with 7 races left. For Norris, the disappointment is that he did not make the kind of inroads he could have. A 6-point swing in his favor is useful, but given that Piastri scored nothing, he will know this was a chance wasted. For Mercedes, the progress is real. Russell is showing leadership and consistency, and Antonelli is proving his worth race by race. If they can continue to develop the car, they may yet play a decisive role in the outcome of this championship, even if the title itself is out of reach for them this year. Williams, meanwhile, have shown that their long-term project is bearing fruit. And for Carlos Sainz, this podium will go down as one of the most important moments of his career, a reminder that he still has the ability to deliver when the opportunity arises. Racing Bulls, too, have reasons to be optimistic. Lawson and Tsunoda both scored strong results, and while they remain firmly in the midfield, Weekends like this show the potential of their drivers and their car. As the paddock leaves Baku and looks ahead to the next races, the championship fight is more alive than ever. Piastri still leads, but the crash has given his rivals hope. Verstappen is building momentum. Russell and Mercedes are coming on strong. Sainz and Williams have proven they can punch above their weight, and Norris is left with the pressure of knowing that opportunities must now be seized, not squandered. The streets of Baku have once again delivered a reminder that in Formula One, nothing can be taken for granted. A single mistake can undo months of hard work, while a perfect performance, like Verstappen's on this day, can shift the entire narrative of a season. And that is the lasting conclusion from the 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It was not the wheel-to-wheel thriller that Baku has sometimes produced, but it was no less significant. It was a race where control, composure, and execution were rewarded, while errors were punished without mercy. Verstappen reminded the world that he is still a force to be reckoned with. Russell proved his toughness. Sainz gave Williams a reason to dream. Antonelli showed why he is the future. Lawson and Tsunoda announced themselves as players in the midfield. Norris revealed the cost of hesitancy. And Piastri, for the first time, learned how cruel the sport can be when even the smallest mistake snowballs into disaster. These are the stories that define championships, and Baku 2025 will go down as a race that may yet prove to be a turning point in the battle for the Formula One world title. McLaren, faithful the home of authentic Formula One storytelling. I'm Mr. Papaya, an independent Formula One journalist and passionate voice behind the visor. This channel delivers in-depth race analysis, breaking news, driver insights, strategy breakdowns, and honest opinions across the Formula One grid. If you're a die-hard Formula One fan, you're in the right place. Here, it's not just about what happened, it's about why it matters. From team dynamics and on-track rivalries to behind-the-scenes politics, I unpack every angle with clarity, heart, and a touch of papaya passion. Expect content that's personal, professional, and always fan-first. Join the conversation. Subscribe to become part of a growing community of Formula One lovers who want more than just headlines. They want truth through the visor.